If you have a passion or desire to write a book and get it published, we have the man who can help you get started. Joining me now is author Rob Kosberg, and he wants to help you not make some of the mistakes that people make when they're writing a book and they're trying to get it published.
You know, I want to take you on a journey around Pasadena today. I want to show you around because an idea is a lot like a car. If it just sits in the garage all day, you never get around to seeing anything, to experiencing anything. In the early 2000s, I started a real estate company with a partner that was very successful. By 2006, those businesses did $2.6 million a year in income. So things were going, wow, amazingly well. Well, what I didn't know, and really most people couldn't predict how severely, but a downturn was coming, and of course more than that in the state of Florida, even a full collapse. And by 2008, those three businesses that had done $2.6 million in income, I completely closed the doors to. They no longer existed. They went not to $1 million, but to zero. And so it was around that time that I was needing to reinvent myself, and I really didn't have the desire to start all over again in real estate. So for whatever reason, I thought I would write a book, and I could maybe use that book to position myself as the authority in this new industry, as a financial specialist. And that book was Life After Debt. And had I known at that time, 7 years ago when I started writing the book, what would have transpired, let me tell you, I would have written the book in 2 weeks. As it was, it took me a year and a half to get it done. I believed that that book would really do something special, but I didn't know. I did know that there were others who had come before me, guys like Tony Robbins and John Maxwell and Dave Ramsey and Zig Ziglar, and the list goes on and on and on. And most people that you can think of are people that wrote a book that you had never heard of until they wrote a book. And I believe that it would do that for me. Fortunately, it did. Boy, I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but Life After Debt became a bestseller. Every now and again, I like to drive through my neighborhood just a few blocks away and visit the house that General George Patton grew up in. He grew up right down the street here. And I like to visit it. He had some philosophies that I've been able to apply and help me tremendously. And one in particular is Patton was known to say that a good plan violently executed today is far better than a perfect plan executed next week. And for me, that rings so true because when it came to my book, I really didn't know what I was doing. You know, I was fumbling around, I was stumbling around, I was just trying to figure it out, but I was making progress and I was making it happen. And that's what I tell my clients or would-be clients. Don't be afraid to take action. Take imperfect action now and execute it violently. Go after it. Go after getting this book done because it will transform your life. So this is Orange Grove. Right there is the Wrigley Mansion. This is where they line up the floats on New Year's Eve for the Rose Parade. The cool thing for me is that, you know, this Rose Parade was started in 1890, over 100 years ago, with just a few floats, with the idea of trying to draw a little attention to this area of Pasadena, especially to people in the Midwest, and to begin bringing affluent people from the Midwest to Pasadena. And what started as just this tiny little event, this nothing event, is now watched by hundreds of thousands of people live along this parade route and hundreds of millions of people on television every single year. It was such a small idea initially, but they decided to go with it, And now here, 126 years later, this event is the biggest parade in the world. Amazing, amazing what taking action on a seemingly small idea can do for you and for others. Within a few weeks of me launching my book and my book doing well, I sent my book to a number of radio stations in the area and asked them if they would like, because of the financial turmoil that was going on in 2009, if they would like a financial expert, a best-selling author, to come on, do like a little 2-minute segment or spot and answer questions that people may have. That 2-minute segment once a week grew to be 4 hours of live radio every single week within about 8 months. And I would take the calls and I would answer the questions, and we would tell people, we'd say, if you want a free copy of Rob's best-selling book, Life After Debt, then call into the radio station and we'll send you a copy. We'll even ship it to you for free, no cost. We wanted to get it into people's hands. And every week, 50, 70, 100 people would call in for a copy of my best-selling book. So every week I would have, 50, 80, even 100 people that were calling and raising their hands and saying, Rob, we want your book, but what we really want is we want help. Can you help me to write a book? Can you help me to use a book to transform my own business or my own life? And I started doing that for others and created a whole new business that I found, honestly, I love far more than anything I had done in the past. Bestseller publishing and helping others to do what I did became what drove me. I found that everybody wants 3 things, or most people, when it comes to business and their life, they want 3 things. They want income, they want impact, and they want independence. Now, maybe not in that order, but when I speak to a business owner that maybe wants to write a book, or I speak to, an author that's written a book and their book hasn't done very well, we always come back to one or more of those 3 things. I certainly wrote my book for those reasons. I wanted to make an impact on other people, but I needed income because of what had happened within my businesses at that time. And you know what? I wanted independence, and that meant independence from debt, but that also meant just general independence to kind of live the way I want to live. This all started from nothing, and it all started from my book, Life After Debt. So when I hear authors or business owners that have been thinking about writing a book for 5 years or 10 years, and every week I hear that, right? Every week, every single week I talk to authors that have been thinking about writing a book, sometimes for decades. And I'm like, look, just get it out of you. Just do it. You have no idea how that can change your life. You have no idea how that can change the lives of your readers, your audience, because it did for me. All right, guys, pulling into the drive now, kind of coming to an end of our journey. I don't know where you're at in your journey today. I've shared with you a little bit of mine and how my best-selling book led to a life of income, impact, and independence for me and for my family. My hope is that you would gain some inspiration from what you watched today. Inspiration to take action on the idea that you have. Don't let it just sit in the garage, so to speak, and not take you to the places that you want to go, but take action on it so that you can have the life of income, impact, and independence that you want, all from your own best-selling book. I'm home. Thanks so much for being with me on this journey. Again, I hope it was an inspiration and really helped you. But my wife has made some lunch. It's time for me to go have a little bit of lunch. And I hope that you and I get to talk really soon. Have a great day.